Hi everyone, I'm Chris, and you are watching my environmental science major project called The Carbon City in Taiwan. First of all, I'm going to talk about the first topic. It's called Carbon City. And this picture is not a great example for Carbon City in Taiwan. So I just briefly explain to you guys Taiwan's Carbon City. Basically, in Taiwan, there are lots of scooters and cars on the streets driving all the time, riding all the time. And there are not a lot of public bus transportation on the streets. And this is why causing low carbon in Taiwan. Then I'm going to explain the second topic, scenario. Ooh, look at this example picture. Look at that burning thingy, and then turn out to be ash. And then it goes up to the air and then causes the air pollutions. And that is really bad because it is really bad for humans' health. And like I said, the previous for the Carbon City in Taiwan, people use cars and scooters a lot, and the vehicle causes lots of pollutions, and it end up like with a scenario example as well. And so that is why for the next slide I'm gonna explain to not making the carbons more and more and let the city get better. Now, this slide is showing the carbon dioxide happening in Taiwan. Here are the symbols for the Taiwan causes. And as you can see, on the 1990s, it kept raising up to 2008. Well, this is the data table that I showed you the previous slides. See the graph, and now I'm showing you the table, and you guys can take a look from 1990s to 2008. Look at all these large numbers. Take a look. This is the structure of the greenhouse gas reduction bill. Here are the datas for each of them. The next thing is that the greenhouse gas stages, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. And finally, this is the greenhouse gas bar graph, or pie graph, pie graph. And this is the energy scatter sector 84.93, and this is the industry process sector 3.97, and the CO2 88.90%. SF6 1.70%, PFCS 1.25%, HFCS 0.20%, and 2O 3.39%, CH4 4.56%. Now, this slide is really important and maybe solve the problem for Taiwan's carbon city. So, this picture is MRT train, and there are lots of it in Kaohsiung and in Taipei. It is the most popular transportation, and a lot of people use it a lot. And there's not even causing any air pollutions. Very useful. And also look at that. It's a green design. Yay, go green! Another thing that for MRT is that it's really useful for transportations from one station to another station. So I suggest people less driving cars and riding scooters and take MRT a lot because it's more useful. And yeah. And another interesting that the government invent the MRT is that the government thinks that people should not use too much of cars for driving and then riding scooters, and this is why government invent the MRT so people can use it a lot and just go to the place what they want, and it's really useful. So this is the second example that is really interesting and very useful to help the Taiwan city not getting very high carbon, and it's called the recycling bike. And all these recycling bikes are places all over the MRT station, and it's very useful. You can take out your credit cards, MRT cards, or any transportation bus cards to borrow the bike. This recycling bike is really useful. You can borrow the bike and then ride it to your workplace or to school. And the most interesting is that you can borrow the bike for exercising. Because that reminded me, last Saturday I was spending my time with my dad, and we borrowed two bikes riding from Nanzi to Xiziwan for about 1.5 hours. And meanwhile, I was riding on the bike on the street with my dad, and I actually like it a lot because the weather is cool because it's at 6 p.m. afternoon, and uh, and you actually can see the skylight. It's very dark, but there's very cool. As I was saying, riding at the back, as well as what I was saying is that riding the bike at 6 p.m. is really good because you can see the sky view very good, and oh my god. And lastly, this is just a bibliography that I researched on the sources that I found for the website for the link. And thank you guys for watching my project. Thanks.